Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. The Golden State Warriors clinched their spot in the playoffs with the win last night over the Memphis Grizzlies, and the offense looked super fluid, and I wanted to take a look. So let's get into the film. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And like I said earlier, the Golden State Warriors advanced to play the Houston Rockets in the first round. They have a real chance of advancing to the second round now. But the Warriors offense is something that I've admired for a long time, being a guy that really likes the X's and O's with their split actions, the punch actions, the way that they use Steph Curry as a screener, and just how the entire offense, right? It works around the gravity of Steph Curry. But then you put a co-star next to him like Jimmy Butler, who in the playoffs / play-in is somebody that can be the best player on the court, right? And then you cover that with the ability to read a defense and to make reads of Draymond Green. This is just a match made in heaven, and the Warriors can really be dangerous if their guys play like this. So here the Warriors go to some angle pick. Well, we're about to go to some angle pick and roll. Jimmy rejects it, and Steph Curry is just such a good mover without the ball. His conditioning is top tier all time. Knows how to move without the ball. He knows how to use his gravity in certain ways. And of course, when you have a guy like Draymond who's been playing with Steph Curry and in this system for his whole career, he knows his spots. He knows where he likes the ball. So the Warriors are going to use Steph shooting to their advantage here. So you see, so as you look at Pods here, the moment that he turns his body and act like he's about to set a screen for Steph Curry, Scottie Pippen Jr., he's going to start to top lock Steph Curry. And immediately, the moment Steph Curry sees that, he cuts and Draymond puts the ball where it needs to be for the assist. All right, so in this play, the Warriors go to a specific handoff called blind pick action. Blind pick action is for denying defenses. So when you have a guy like Steph Curry, he's going to meet a lot of aggressive coverages. The opponent doesn't want the ball in his hands. So there's going to be a lot of times where he's being denied the ball, right? So in an instance where Steph Curry can't get the ball because he's being denied, blind pick action is a dribble handoff under the denying defender. So there's going to be a couple examples of this. You see Scottie Pippen is playing Steph Curry really high. They're going to get it into Draymond, and they're going to get into that dribble handoff under Scottie Pippen Jr. A very easy way to create space from a denying defender. Steph Curry and Draymond Green, of course, with the chemistry that they've had over these years, they just immediately get into this stuff. And Curry sprints over here to Draymond Green. They get a little pick and roll goal in there and floater from Steph Curry. All right, so here the Warriors go to some blob screen-to-screen action. Blob is just an acronym for baseline out of bounds play, and slob would be sidelines out of bounds. So here we got some screen-to-screener action. We got Buddy Hield setting his rip / back screen on Santi Aldama, and he's gonna come out right here and receive a screen from Quinn Post, so he can come to the corner and potentially get a three. But they don't even need this action because the back screen does its job well. But it's really Jimmy Butler creating the space. So watch how he mixes Santi Aldama here off the ball. He's gonna fake like he goes that way, comes one way, good pass by AirPods, and he gets in that one. All right, so here the Warriors go to some slob action, some sidelines out of bounds action. They get the ball into Podziemski. He gets it to Draymond Green, and Jimmy's gonna set this flare screen for Podziemski, which he's gonna curl cut. So with flare screens, you can either flare out to the side, which he'll just come right here to the 3-point line, or just based on how the defense is playing, he can curl cut this all the way to the basket, and that's what he ends up doing. Draymond Green finds him, but he does a nice job of waiting to see what Desmond Bane is gonna do. So you see Bane, he's gonna act like he's going over there, right? And Draymond doesn't pass it. But once Draymond sees that he's going back, ball is already in flight. So that pass there to Podziemski, but he does a nice job. And this draws Zach Edey away from Jimmy, which helps in turn with this drive. So now he's far away from Jimmy. Now he has to close out, gets flat-footed. Jimmy drives past him, another and one. All right, this ain't even a play, bro. This is just Curry's greatness and the amount of conditioning that he has. And the Warriors have done a phenomenal job surrounding him with guys that really enhance his play style, like a GP2 or Draymond Green, of course, but even a Kevon Looney. Like, these are guys that really think about how to get Steph Curry open. And when there's an opportunity to have a dribble handoff, it's had with these guys. You see right there, dribble handoff, screen, Curry lose the ball just a little bit. He gets the ball out to Kevon Looney, and the first thing he thinks about is Steph Curry relocation. Steph Curry has made this such a wildly popular thing. Get the ball, relocate, get it right back, and this is just a ridiculous shot. All right, so this play didn't end up amounting to anything, but I just like that the Warriors still use the old floppy action. So floppy action is when a shooter is usually at the baseline or he's under the basket, and he has two sides that he can choose from. He can choose to get this one pin down and come off this side, or he can get these two pin downs right here, these stagger screens, and he could come off this side, right? So Either way, you have a shooter on the baseline or under the basket coming off of screens, right? Or one screen. So he gets to choose which side he comes off of this side. And then also when you have a shooter like Buddy Hield screening for Steph Curry, what that means is since this guy's gonna be chasing Steph Curry, these guys right here are gonna be watching Steph Curry, as everybody does. A shooter like Buddy Hield can get some opportunities, and after he screens, he can go a little screener action right there. It just doesn't amount to anything. But Steph Curry gets the ball. Kevin Looney, I think, gets 3 seconds, but I just like that the Warriors still running stuff. All right, so we got another example of blind pick action. To initiate this, we got Brandon Brzezinski setting. We got Brandon Brzezinski setting a pin down screen for Jimmy Butler for him to come out to receive the ball. He gets the ball, and you see again the denying defense. Scottie Pippen Jr. is in the chest of Steph Curry. So what does that mean? We initiate the blind pick with the dribble handoff under the denying defender. So we get the ball into Draymond. Curry's gonna come over here. He's gonna set that screen. Then the rest is history. So the blind pick action right there, Jaren Jackson has to step up because of the phenomenal screen, a rare legal one by Draymond Green, but he sets the screen. Jaren Jackson has to come out. And the thing with this is Draymond Green gets a lot of opportunities to play make, right? Because of the gravity of Steph Curry. So even though Jaren Jackson is switched on this, right? The Grizzlies are not worried about Draymond as a scoring threat. So even though they do switch this, Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to go right back to Steph Curry, right? So they're both going to be on Steph Curry. He gets an opportunity to get the pocket pass. Now the Warriors are playing within an advantage, right? You got 4 Warriors right here in this area with 3 Grizzlies. And Draymond Green is, again, adept at reading defenses and making the right decision. In this shell right here, they have an advantage. So what Draymond Green needs to do is manipulate one of these defenders, right? So what he's going to do, he's going to manipulate Santi Aldama. You see, he has Podziemski and Jimmy Butler right here that he's trying to contain just for a second so Jaren Jackson can come back. What Draymond's going to do, he's going to look right there, a sort of a no-look pass, right? And also a great cut by Jimmy Butler, crossing face of Santi Aldama, so he won't be able to guard both him and Podziemski. But Draymond does a nice job. The no-look pass, basically pump faking to the area of Podziemski, so Santi Aldama puts his hands up, freeing a cut open by Jimmy Butler, and he gets a bucket. All right, so here, just great fluid offense by the Golden State Warriors. Zach Edey's on Jimmy Butler, so they sprint into a super high ball screen just to get Zach Edey away from the paint and get him to move his feet. Jimmy Butler rolls. They hit him on the roll. Ja Morant comes over to try to stop the drive. In the corner, Moses Moody. Now you see Scottie Pippen Jr. denying again on Steph Curry. And then they were going to go to this dribble handoff. Draymond does a nice job faking it. Of course, you see the gravity of Steph Curry. You got Scottie Pippen Jr. trailing him. Santi Aldama is going to come up to the level, but Draymond Green does a nice job. Good decision by faking it. He draws in the defense, kicks it out to Moses Moody for the 3. And in the second half, the Warriors start to use their famous split action. So split action, if you don't know, is a post set where you get the ball into the post and the post entry passer goes to screen for the next closest guy. So we got Jimmy Butler. He's going to enter it in to Draymond Green into the post. He's going to go screen for Steph Curry. This play is called split shoot. So it'll be a post entry. Then the guy will go screen for the shooter and he'll just come off this screen really simply and shoot the ball, try to get a shot off. This play did not end up scoring, but it was just nice to see how these split actions have so many options to them and they can go into just flowing offense. So after the split shoot action, we got an inverted pick and roll trying to pick on Zach Edey. They don't end up getting, well, they do end up getting with Jimmy Butler, but then they go to some flex action. So flex action is a really old concept, and it's named after a type of screen called the flex screen. So it's this screen right here. So along the baseline or really close to the baseline, guy's gonna set a screen right here. This man can either go under the screen or over the screen to try to get the ball into the paint. If there is a favorable matchup that this guy has, he will want to get super close to this guy so they can switch. But specifically for the Warriors, what makes the flex action is usually after this, there'll be a guy sitting right here to give a pin down for Steph Curry. So after he screens here, is going to turn into some screener action, and there will be a guy here to set a pin down for Steph Curry. So after he sets this screen, there's usually somebody here setting a pin down, and the ball is here, and they'll get a pass. But this just turns into a dribble handoff, and you see how Steph Curry gets open on this play. He just doesn't hit the shot. And again, we got the Warriors here using Stephen Curry's gravity to their advantage here as a screener. I think Stephen Curry is one of the best screeners because the guy that he's guarding will never leave his body. It will never happen. So that means if he sets even a semi-effective screen, right, the person he's screening for is going to get open or something's going to get open because Scottie Pippen Jr. or nobody guarding Steph Curry is going to leave their body or switch. It's just no way that's going to happen. So they get it into the post of Draymond Green, and he's going to set this back/rip screen for Jimmy Butler on Zach Edey. He's going to cut Draymond again, making a nice read for the layup. All right, so again, they're using Steph Curry as a screener on this inverted pick roll action with Draymond Green. And again, Scottie Pippen Jr. might stunt a little bit, come over there for a second, but he is not going to leave Steph Curry's body. So Jaren Jackson Jr. has a really tough job if Steph Curry actually sets a good screen, because he's not going to receive help from the screener's man. Draymond Green sees a lane and he gets it to go. All right, this was really cool to see the coach actually calling out the play. So they're calling out elbow here. This is the Grizzlies are on a 7-0 run right now, and the Warriors just use this simple action to get Jimmy Butler downhill and he can get some free throws. So elbow action is just a simple elbow pin down, right? See, Podziemski is sort of at the elbow, but he's going to set this pin down for Jimmy Butler. He's going to curl it and get an ISO opportunity here in a really good part of the floor for him. So he sets the pin down. Santi Aldama's trailing. He gets the drive and he gets fouled. All right, I don't actually know the name of this one, but I'm going to call it a split twirl. Hopefully there's no play already for that. So of course we get the ball into the post, got the split actions here. Steph Curry is gonna come set the screen for Jimmy Butler, but no, they twirl it, right? So there's a play called stagger twirl where it's kind of the same action where somebody looks like they're gonna screen with somebody, but then they flip it and they twirl it, and actually somebody else is screening for that other person. So Steph Curry is gonna look like he's gonna screen for Jimmy Butler and Jimmy's gonna come over there, but then in reality Jimmy's gonna come set this screen right here for Steph Curry, as he's gonna come out right there and he's going to get a floater. I see the Warriors are going to go back to split action, but they use 77 action to initiate it. 77 is just 2 on-ball screens. They're usually 2 drag screens, so in transition or semi-transition, the trailers come and set 2 on-ball screens, but NBA teams just use it in the regular half-court offense too. So Draymond pops out, they get the ball to Jimmy Butler, then we initiate the split shoot, which we already saw on the other side, but they do it again. Draymond Green setting the screen for the closest guy right there. Steph Curry gets a shot off. And this is just years and years of chemistry between Draymond Green and Steph Curry. And then you add a guy like Jimmy Butler who can take over games and just take a little bit of pressure off of Steph Curry. And just for half a second or a second, if you're looking at Jimmy Butler and not at Steph Curry, Curry is sprinting into a handoff. And in a game where Jimmy Butler has 38 points and the defense has to focus on him and Steph Curry, they try to do the inverted pick and roll here to get a mismatch on Scottie Pippen Jr. They don't end up getting a switch, but Scottie Pippen Jr. takes his eye off Steph Curry for 1 second, and he is 1 step behind, just 1, and that is too late for him, and Curry hits a corner 3. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just get out there a little bit more, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.